But we're not live yet, right? Or are we?
We're live on StreamYard.
Oh, okay.
I haven't checked yet.
I don't know what it is, but it sounds like there's a drum playing in the background on your end. Like,
Oh, you
I
know
don't
what?
know. I still hear it. Sounds like somebody is playing like not the bongos. What are they?
I don't know.
It's the two. It's like that, but
Bongos.
okay. I'm gonna go ahead and go live now. Not the bongos, the
And good morning.
Good morning and welcome everybody to Club One Nation Radio. You are tuned in to 100% Real Talk with Amy. Usually I'm in the attic, but I'm out of the attic now. Actually, Bobby's in the attic right now.
It's a little warm up here. I'm gonna need some AC. It's a little warm up here. I don't know if I can deal with these temperatures. These
And
summer
of course,
temperatures.
yeah, I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Bobby Baker, with the suitcases. So he had to trek the suitcases up to the attic because he's in the attic right now.
You know, that took quite a bit of work. I mean, you have small suitcases, medium-sized suitcases, large suitcases, and also extra large suitcases, depending on the topic and the conversation we're having.
Right. But hey, you're up there. I don't know when you're getting out. I don't know who judges that. I don't know, because I'm the one that sent you to the attic. So I guess maybe I need to figure that out. But
Well, your mom is in charge of the attic, so I have to get permission from her to see.
yeah, my mom is the landlord of the attic. So we got to call her after the show. Maybe she'll let you out. I don't know.
Right. Also, good morning to the folks over on YouTube that are tuned in with us. I see 3 people in the chat. Good morning to you. You're welcome, and feel free to chime in the chat. I can see it, so feel free to state your name and who you are. We love to know who you are, so we can give you your proper shout outs if that needs to happen.
Right,
So,
right.
Good morning, everybody. We are here.
Yeah. Bobby can see YouTube. I can't, but he'll stay on top of that. But
Right.
so we have a letter today, but before we get into this letter, I kind of wanted to take some time and have a little conversation about, it's May. I mean, we're already towards the end of May, but May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Okay.
I don't have a number because every state is different when it comes to their, mental health. It's like statewide number that you can call. But
Right.
The reason I'm bringing that up is because, of course, yesterday, this isn't our place to have these conversations, but, we just recently had the Uvalde school shooting,
Mm-hmm.
and 19 children, 2 teachers were killed in that shooting so far.
Yeah.
10 days ago, or now 11 days ago, on May 14th, we had that Buffalo Tops supermarket shooting and people
Right.
killed.
Right.
Both of these situations have been where these individuals, both of them, they were 18-year-olds that did the shootings, right? They both had guns that they acquired legally. And
Right.
we need to have, they have both shown social media posts and stuff about stuff that they were going to do. And
Yes.
I'm not saying take guns away from people. I'm not saying that at all. But they need to have more stringent background checks and laws on who gets guns.
I totally
That's all
agree.
I'm saying.
I mean, first of all, let me offer my condolences to the families in the Southwest Texas elementary school shooting. When it came across the my phone yesterday, I had no words. And this is also becoming too common of themes. I mean, we're becoming as people hashtags, and that's just not acceptable.
Right.
And these kids will never be able to grow up and have lives, make mistakes, have career goals, have families, everything that we've had the privilege of in my 45 years of life.
Right.
These kids will never have that opportunity. And I just
Right.
think it's sad, and I just don't understand why there is so much hate.
Right.
And you bring up the subject mental illness, and you're absolutely right. That's something that needs to be looked at more in depth with people.
Right.
But it also, to be understandably real, it has to start with you. It has to start within yourself to, number one, get the help that you need, and realize that it's okay to not be okay.
Right.
And I think that's hard for people to understand. And the other thing too is, it is also important to have people to listen, because a lot of times we'll tell people, if we know people in our circle, in our family, oh, he just crazy. Oh, she's just crazy.
Right.
She do it all the time.
Right. Right.
We
And
cannot,
you've seen,
we cannot turn blind eyes to the things that are the red flags, so to speak, to the things that
right.
are visible to us.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
we have to do that. We have to, because this is going to keep happening. And the other thing
Right.
that really made me upset yesterday, I was looking at the feed. I think it was ABC's feed on TikTok, and it was like 82,000 people in there. And it goes from what color they are to is it Republicans and is Democrat? It does not matter.
Right.
These are
It does
kids.
not matter. They're
It does not
innocent
matter.
lives lost. Period.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Children. And like I said, I don't want to get too deeply in this, but I'm with you, Bobby. I send my condolences to those families, my
Yes.
condolences to the families in the Buffalo shootings.
Yes.
I saw in the news today, they said a mass shooting consists of shooting 4+ people.
Hmm.
In 2013, there was 17 mass shootings. Majority of those didn't make the news.
Right.
In 2021, we had 60. 60.
It's unheard of. Like, I don't understand. And for the life of me, the things that we do every day: go to the grocery store for the Buffalo,
Right. Go to
go to
school.
school, get up and kiss your kids.
Right.
I think about my three. Like, I used to get up and get them ready for school, take them to school, and go pick them up from school. To be at work or be doing your out and about daily chores or errands,
Right.
and to get a
Right.
phone call and say there has been a shooting at your child's school,
Right.
and your child may be possibly deceased. I can't even imagine
Right.
or even at the grocery store. Your
Right.
mom and dad. I mean, for my children, I shop all the time, and they get a call and say, "Hey, your dad has been shot." You know,
Right.
I have no words for that.
There's
And
no words. And we need to stop having to have these conversations.
yes,
We need to stop.
yes,
You know, Steve Kerr, of course, he's an NBA coach.
right.
In his address last night, after the game, before the game, I don't know which it was, he broke down and he said, we need to stop having moments of silence. We need to stop having to send our condolences because this stuff shouldn't be happening.
Yes. Yes.
But
it shouldn't. I remember way back in the 90s when Columbine happened. You know, and that's kind of where it kind of started. I mean, respectfully. And it may have some before then, but I remember Columbine because I remember being in school. And when it happened, I'm like, wait a minute, what happened? My God. You know, and it has gotten worse. Sandy Hook and other places, man. I just pray for healing for this nation, man, because it's got to be. Yeah, I see. You see the cat back
Sorry.
there. Good morning. Good morning. She wants to join the show this morning. But yeah, Steve Kerr was awesome in his response, and him. Also, Greg Popovich is very outspoken on topics like this, and it should never be political.
It shouldn't. Right. Well, but Steve Kerr played in San Antonio, so
yeah, right.
That's his connection.
That make it out to be a Republican and a Democrat. It's not. It should be a life thing. Like these are kids. These are kids, and it should never be politicized. And it should be one side or the other. It should be us as Americans understanding that we have a serious problem in America. We really do.
We need stricter gun laws. And I know we have our rights and everybody has the right to bear arms, but if you're mentally ill, and those background checks need to put into place, because every single one of these situations, there has been background where they've posted on social media, had mental issues, all that. And it shouldn't happen. But okay, enough about that.
Yeah, no, enough about that. We needed to say that. I mean, we cannot ignore the fact that life happens and things are, and that's on the forefront of the news right now.
Right.
And it just saddens my heart that 14 plus people, including, mostly kids, will never get the opportunity to live their life.
14. There was 19.
19. I'm sorry, 19. Yeah, I said 14 plus, but 19 kids.
Right.
And it's just I have no words for it. And I'm tired of it too. I'm tired of the hashtags. I'm tired of praying and condolences and everything else that comes with when we have these tragedies, and we mourn and we mourn and we mourn, and then a month later we go back to doing exactly what we were doing, and we forget that this happened. I mean, I'm not saying that we forget that it happened.
No.
It's just like 9/11. I mean, we celebrate 9/11 every year, or memorialize 9/11 every year. But do we really understand the significance of what life is and what it matters to embrace life as it stands right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, I agree. Good morning, everybody. Kiki, is that my sister? Kiki, is that you? Good morning. Welcome to the chat.
My cousin is in here too.
Right.
I'm
Curly Hair Goddess. I see a couple of Club One Nation people in here. So good morning. Over there on YouTube, I see 5 people. Nobody's coming, got in the chat yet. So good morning to you, and we're gonna get into this letter.
Yes. Okay. So it's not really a letter.
yeah.
But it's interesting.
Yeah.
Amy and Bobby and all your listeners, what are your thoughts on polyamory? I'm just interested to hear what you all think.
Okay, so do you want the large suitcase or do you want the extra large suitcase? Which one?
I think you're gonna need the extra large suitcase.
Well, we got some good people in the chat today, so we ought to have some good conversations about this.
Right. We're gonna have great conversation, and I think my first question to everybody in the chat: do we have anybody that is into polyamory?
Hey, right on cue. Kay, currently poly, looking for a third.
Ooh. Who's that?
Kay in the chat, in Club One Nation chat. She's currently,
I,
currently probably looking for a third.
wow. Okay,
Look,
Kay.
we need to send you an invite to come to the to come to the platform to speak, because I have a lot of questions.
Right. But of course, I'm coming informational, or I did all my research. I have all my notes and stuff ready to go. So I'm coming from a research perspective.
Okay.
Oh, Curly Head Goddess.
Yeah, guys, I'm Polly. Wow.
I'm Polly.
Okay. All right.
Let us know, you guys. I'm really interested. I really am. And I'll tell you why. But let's first go to songs, or a song.
Yeah.
And we'll be back to have this conversation because I'm very interested. Very interested.
Yeah, y'all get to chatting, please.
Bobby tried to accuse me of being Polly last week.
Right. We'll be right back, Club One Nation Radio.
We'll be back.
All right, we're back. We're back.
We are back. And so we don't necessarily have a letter. It was just somebody that wrote in and said, what are your thoughts, Amy and Bobby, and your listeners on polyamory? I'm interested to hear. And so we had a couple people actually come in on the chat. Kay said, currently poly, looking for a third. Okay, Kay, are you looking for a third as in male or female? What do you want your third to be? Or does it not matter?
The chat wants to know.
That wants to know. And then we had Curly
Head Goddess.
Curly Head Goddess said that she's poly as well. And so for those of you that don't know, hold up, I need to pull up my notes here. That don't know,
get it right.
Polyamory is when people engage in multiple relationships simultaneously. These relationships can be emotional, sexual, or both. So I'm interested to know of these polyamorous relationships. What are your thoughts, Bobby?
I guess my question would be, could you have one without the other? You mentioned the definition, and can you have one without the other? Can you have that type of relationship and not be sexual or not be emotional? I mean, how does that work? Because we are, by nature, we are emotional creatures. So how could you do that? I mean, it's just a question. How could you do that and not get some kind of feelings or some kind of attachment to that person without feeling some type of way? That's my question.
Right. And I think if you're going to label yourself as polyamory, there is a connection, or else you're just out there doing whatever you want to do. You're not in a relationship. Polyamory is when you're in a relationship with more than one person, I believe, is what it truly is. Because I know there's a lot of people out there that are just doing what they want to do.
Right.
But yeah.
My thoughts on it? No, that's not for me. That's not for me. I want to. I'm stingy in a sense. I saw Miss Soria say that earlier. Oh no, that was Miss Trigger say that in DJ Lethal's live, and she said I'm stingy. I don't like sharing, and I'm the same way. So that would be hard for me to do, because you have to give yourself to that many people, depending on how many people you want, and it seems like it becomes a job to do.
Right. Yeah. And my situation, of course, okay, so this is my cousin in the chat, Sita. He said, very interested. I just recently heard about this type of relationship. It's good to be informed on how to support friends and family. And that's awesome. We want to support, people. There's all this new stuff. Oh, Kay just replied. So Kay is the one looking for her third, or their third. It's a mutual understanding and agreement. It depends. Hold on, the chat's going too fast. I lost it.
It depends on the
main relationship. Not everyone understands. You all have to love and respect one another. Okay, I get that.
Curly Head Goddess replied before her and said a lot of people using that as an excuse to have multiple partners, but it's about building a community based on love, trust, and honesty. I understand that too, but to me, having that, even that understanding and that trust and that honesty, doesn't it? To me, I'm just asking a question because I'm oblivious to it. I want to know: does it cause a strain on either person in a relationship? Because it seems like you have to devote that attention to everybody in the relationship. I mean, to me, I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about that. So that's why I'm asking the question.
Yeah. And that's my question too. But before I ask my question, somebody did ask, what is poly? And they must not have heard me give the definition. So polyamory is when people engage in multiple relationships simultaneously. These relationships can be emotional, sexual, or both. That's the definition. So that's for our person in the chat here that doesn't know what poly is. But
Right.
so my question, okay. So you're in a relationship, say it's 3 of you.
Uh-huh.
Are all 3 of you giving each other the same amount of attention, or are 2 biting for more attention of 1? Is it, that's kind of my question. Is it like one person is like the main person and then they have 2 others?
Yeah.
And they have to give that equal attention to those 2 others because they're in a relationship with those 2 others.
Right.
Or is it where all 3 give each other attention?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So Kay
Right.
responded to my question. She said it could, but communication is really key.
Uh-huh.
And Mr. 10,000K said, keyword honesty.
Right.
And Curly Head Goddess replied and said, yes, I've had a close triad relationship in the past. You have separate relationship with each person. I get
Okay.
that. I understand that, but
Okay.
I have so many questions.
So
And I'm glad, and I really appreciate you guys responding in the chat.
Right. Right.
About it because I really don't know. Because it seems to me. So let me ask this other question. So when you have a separate relationship with the other, is the other person free to go out and have another relationship with somebody else, or is it just exclusive to you 3 or you 4 or whatever the situation is?
Right. And I want to hear that from our people that are listening that have had these relationships. I want to hear it, but I also have definitions.
Come on with it.
So there's ethical non-monogamy. All parties are aware and consenting to non-monogamy. And then there's monogamy, where the practice of having one partner at a time, the norm is, so that's, regular relationships. But there's hierarchical relationships where a certain partner is, or partnerships are prioritized above other relationships. And then there's non-hierarchical relationships, where relationships free of the exception that any one particular relationship will be prioritized over the other.
Gotcha.
So there's parallel polyamory. Each individual relationship is largely independent from either partner's additional relationship. And then there's, I don't know if I can say this, polyfidelitous relationships, where a closed polyamorous relationship, multiple people who only see each other and have no additional relationships.
There's a lot of layers to it. I get it.
Right.
So we have a response from Kay. She said, for me, it's me and my fiance looking for a girlfriend for me, but at the same time, she will be here to help us around the house with the baby and bills. Our third is welcome to have another relationship. We just want them to be upfront about everything. Wow.
Okay. That makes sense.
But it just seems like, to me, it just seems like a lot of work, though. I mean, I get it, and I respect you for that. I respect everybody's decision on what they want to do in their life.
Right.
But for me, just like Queen Bee said, it's a struggle just to manage one relationship, let alone.
I can't even find one relationship, much less multiple. Maybe that's my problem.
Because what happens is you have to deal with the ups and the downs. You have to deal with the attitude. You got to deal with when they're going to be fine today and what's wrong with you tomorrow. And it's just a lot to deal with. Even with one person, it's a lot to deal with. So imagine 3 or 4 or however many you feel the need to have. It just seems like a lot of work and a lot of time and effort to put into making sure this person's happy, this person's happy. You're not only trying to make yourself and one person happy, you're trying to make somebody else happy. Right. And I get it. I mean, honestly, I get it. The honesty, the communication, I get all of that. Right. But it seems to be a lot of work in managing 2 different relationships with 2 other people on both sides, I should say. Right. And so Kay replied, you just read it, me and my fiance, that we're looking for a girlfriend for me. So Kay, my question is,
You said in your comment on the chat, you and your fiance are looking for a girlfriend for you. Does that mean that your fiance doesn't have a relationship with that person? Is it just you
Right.
and that girl? That's my question. Like, can it be where there's three people involved, but only one person has two relationships, or everybody kind of can commingle? I
Right,
don't know
right.
the
So
word.
yeah. So is he allowed to have another
Right,
girlfriend? I mean, the fact
right,
that you want a third, is he allowed to go get somebody else as long as the honesty is there? And I mean, it just seems like it just opens up for a lot of misunderstanding to me. I mean, I get it, and I understand it, and like I said, I appreciate this conversation because y'all are educating me today.
right, right,
Because I was
right.
not expecting this type of conversation with the chat today. So I am
But
ecstatic about
this
having.
is what our listener asked. They said, "I want to know how you, Amy, and your listeners feel." And our listeners are giving us great information. Curly Head
Yeah,
Goddess said, "In some relationships, they allow you to court, but for me, I want a closed triad: a woman, man, and myself." Okay,
right,
so of course, everybody has their different preferences. If it's going to be one man, two women, two men, one woman,
right,
all
right,
three men, all three women. It doesn't, there's rules to each of it, but I agree.
right.
Communication.
So
I'm like,
Kay responded. She said, "We
okay,
all will have a relationship. The woman low key be sliding in his DM, so I just be telling him, see what they about."
okay.
Okay. And then my sister responds. She said, "This is out of my league. I can only manage one relationship." I totally agree. I totally agree.
Right,
That's why you my sister. I totally agree. I mean, I get it.
right.
I respect, and
Yeah,
I will say this to the cows come
right,
on. I respect it because everybody, like Curly Head Gotta said, this is not for everybody, and I get that.
right,
But
right,
I'm just trying to get an understanding of
right,
how to keep the peace, even if you're honest, even if you're respectful, even if you have all the tools lined up and everything is in place to where you
right,
can have the communication open, you can be open and honest. It seems like it's more trouble than it's worth. I mean, from an emotional standpoint,
right, right, right.
and
No,
that's just
I
my
agree.
opinion. That's my opinion.
I agree. And, I think it's time for us to go to a song, although this conversation is
Whew,
great.
this
So
suitcase
I don't
is
know if
heavy.
I want to keep going, play the song. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's go
right.
to a song and then I'll come back with more comments
Let's do
because
that.
I'll tell you where I understand this kind of stuff.
Okay.
I mean, I get both sides. One, I can't even handle one relationship, much less two, three, however many is, it's multiple relationships.
Well,
But
yeah, you do that, and then you put the kids' emotions and feelings and all that in. Man, it's a
yeah,
whole circus. It's a whole
yeah,
circus. But
yeah.
we'll be right back. Yeah, we'll be right
We'll
back.
be right back. We'll be back.
Lord Jesus. I like that song. That's a nice song. I've never heard that before. I was talking. We were, yeah, yeah. I'm in it.
But
I'm
it
in
was
it. Yeah,
perfect for the situation.
yeah. So let me make this clear because I saw this in the chat a few minutes ago. Uh,
Uh-huh.
we respect everybody's opinion
Right,
and their
right,
decision to live their life. We're not casting any aspersions on anybody. We're just trying to get clarification and understanding. These are good conversations to have because we just
right,
want to know. So no, we're not looking down on anybody, calling anybody bad or trash or whatever the verbiage you want to use. We're
right,
having a great dialogue and conversation about something that we need to understand. And we
right,
appreciate Kay and Curly Head Goddess for their input on this situation
right,
because
right,
I
right,
don't know, I don't know, and I'm we are very appreciative of this
right.
conversation we're having today here on
Oh,
Club One Nation.
yeah, absolutely. And actually, to be honest, after listening to that song and I was reading the comments, and I'm like, I've never been in a polyamorous relationship that I know,
Come on, Amy,
but
about to join me in at it. Come on, come on.
nowadays a lot of stuff is more open. People are more open and there's new things and things are more acceptable. And shoot, I can say I don't know that I can give, it's hard enough to give attention to one person, much less two.
Yeah,
But if there's understanding and they're only going to get so much attention, I I might be down for that if they live in different spots than I do.
yeah. So Queen Diva, good morning, Queen Diva, Club One Nation's own. She says y'all looking into it too deep. It really works. Oh no, I mean we're just trying to get clarification. I'm not looking into it too deeply, but it's at the same time I am because I'm trying to get an understanding because I've never dealt with
Right,
this, and we have
right,
two people in the chat that it works. It works great for them, and
right,
I'm okay with that. Like live your life the
right,
way you want it to live, and if it works, it works.
right.
Um, but yeah, I'm just trying to get an understanding of if just like with Kay said earlier, or was it Curly Head Goddess that's looking for a relationship for the third party for her,
Right,
and she's going to take care of the bills, the kids, etc., everything from the house. And my
right,
understanding and my question to her was, is it okay for him to go get a relationship that's going to be strictly for him?
right,
And so I just wanted an understanding on that. So yeah, we
right.
yeah.
It's very interesting. I'm telling you, if nowadays people are, like I said, more open. And here's a question that I have, though, I guess, is do some people find themselves in a polyamorous relationship because they don't want to lose that other person? And that other person doesn't want to be with just one person.
That's a
And
good
so they
question.
agree to this stuff.
That's a good question.
And
Yeah,
that could take a toll too, you
right,
know?
right. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Like I saw in the episode, you want to be my concubine? That's having multiple wives. But then,
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking necessarily about marriage here. We're just
right,
talking
of
about
course,
relationships.
relationship, of course.
And there's different levels of relationships. So, I mean, it's kind of the same as like being in dating. Oh, we date more than one person at a time. And when you find that one that is like, okay, I have this connection and we're good. But have we not seen many, many, many stories and situations where people can fall in love with more than one person at a time? It's
Yes,
possible.
I think it's very possible. Yes. Kay says it honestly depends on the person and the situation. I totally agree with that. We're
Hmm.
all in agreement with that. So I agree with that. I
Yeah,
agree with that.
yeah,
Wow, this has been eye opening today.
it has
Shout out to
been.
the people over on YouTube. I see 8 people. Nobody's in the chat, but shout out to people over at YouTube joining us on 100% Real Talk this morning. We welcome you to the show.
Right.
Feel free to chime in over here too. I mean, we love to hear your feedback too as well. Um, but yeah, so I don't. It's not for me, because I am trying to my 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 goal is to be with that one person and share the life with that one person and live out my forever with that one person. You know,
Right.
because I've had some mistakes in the past, I've done some things in the past, and it's just trying to learn from it and be a better person. So if it works, cool. If it works for you, I'd say live out your best life.
Right.
Everyone's mindset and perspective is different. That is true. That is true.
That is
Curly
true.
Head God said, I don't feel like that's probably because where's the love? It's more of fear.
And I think she's replying to my question of if somebody gets involved with somebody just because they want to be with multiple people. Yeah.
Right.
So I get that. I get that. But
we don't want to live in fear. That was kind of what was that guy's name down there in Waco? Is that what he did? The guy in Waco that had that hole and he was like controlling everybody. Was it what's his name?
Yeah. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But that's like off the wall. But anyways.
Right. It just came to my mind I know a lot of times that show is on.
You can't control people. And I think again, something that we say in all of our shows pretty much is communicate. Communication is key, period.
True.
We'll probably come up with new scenarios down the line. It's I don't know. I'm contemplating this polyamorous now.
This is breaking news, 100% real talk. Amy is considering it. Well, Kay is looking for, or somebody's looking for a third, so you might want to get in touch with her after the show and see how it goes. So, Curly Head Goddess said, I tried that and was miserable. I was married for 10 years. Now I won't settle. I want a husband and a wife.
Okay. I get that.
Is going to be, yes, it is. Communication is key. It's the foundation. Yeah, I mean, that's the basis of every relationship. The foundation has to be right. The communication has to be there. We talk about this all the time on the show about communicating and having the conversations that need to be had. Again, Ben's Tech, I see you got your hand up. What you want to ask? Ben's Tech has your hands up in the chat. Yeah.
What's the question, Ben's Tech?
You have been granted permission to ask your question.
I almost know where he's going with this, though. I want to know.
It's a good thing D Clax is not here today. We'll tell him what kind of
right. Yeah.
So while we're waiting on this Tech to respond and ask his question, Curly Head Goddess and Kay, what is your current status now? What is your current status? That's what the question is. I want to know. What is your current status? Are you in a relationship now? You're looking for a third party, or you already have a third party, or what is your current status and your situationships now? Oh, he was
situationships.
Yes, situation. I did say that word, situationship. I'm sorry, relationship.
Ben replied, and he said he was volunteering. That's why he had his hand up. So I wonder what he was volunteering for, Ben Tech. Were you volunteering?
So Kay is engaged, looking for a third. Okay.
Kay is looking for a female.
Okay. So the other question is, how does he feel about it? I'm sure he's probably all on board if that's the communication and the foundations y'all set. I just want to know from a guy standpoint, how does that make you? How does that make him feel?
Right.
Yeah.
To make a comment about your
situationship, entanglements, all of that. Curly Head Goddess says, I'm single, but I'm bi, so I'm seeking a couple or a man woman who is also poly. Okay.
Yeah.
We need to get that date show going. That's what we need to do.
We try, but I think we need to get it going again. Hey, are you guys all up for a dating show?
Yeah, Queen Bee, we need to get on that. We need to get this dating show.
We need to. I think we need to. But we need to be open to all situations, you know?
See? Situationships. See?
I
was right on. Y'all looking at me asking questions about when I said situationships. Now you just said it. You just laid it right on the line for me. Oh yeah, so curly head goddess says she signed up last time. Yeah, we need to get on that.
Man,
Yeah,
yeah, we need to do it. We need to revive that because I think it would be good. But
right.
man, the time has flown. It's already 10
Oh
till
wow.
our time. We only have 10 minutes until our time is up. So
Wow. Wow. Wow.
crazy,
Well, here's the
crazy.
deal.
But
I really appreciate Kay and Curly Head Goddess today. I really do. I
absolutely,
really appreciate. I respect you both
absolutely.
because you
Mhm.
shed light on something that I had no knowledge of. I
Right,
mean, you've heard about it, but it's kind of
right,
like one of those things that's okay. It's over there. I understand. Okay, whatever.
right, right,
So
right,
I'm glad that you had the conversation with us today,
right,
and you provided insight on the things that you want, and you're respected for that because you stood in your truth, and that's what
right.
matters. Stand in your
Yep,
truth, no matter what it is. We can
yep,
all agree to disagree. That may not be for you. It's not for me. It may be for you, but it's not for me.
right,
So we really appreciate the conversation that you had with us today. I really appreciate
right.
it.
Absolutely, and absolutely. And us not understanding, this is what I say all the time. You're not going to understand if you don't ask questions. If you shut your
Of course.
brain off, you're not going to know.
Right.
But when you get that information, be supportive at the same time. Just because it's not you that, you can't see yourself in this situation, that doesn't mean that you can't be supportive of somebody that is in that situation. We need to
Well,
all be supportive of each other,
I
period.
look at it like this here. I don't pay the bills at Curly Head Goddess house. I don't pay the bills at Kay's house. So I have no business in their business that pertains to them. If
Right,
that's what they want to do, if it works for their household and if it works for them and their and the way they want to be, that's cool.
right,
I'm cool with that.
right.
I'm in Louisiana. I got bills to pay over here.
Maybe you need two women to help you pay those bills. I don't know.
Hey, let me see if you know what? Let me get two women. Let me get on this day nap and see what I can find.
No, go back to the attic. You're done. Go back to the attic.
Yeah, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But yeah, it was a great conversation today.
It was.
I like if we're getting ready to get out of here. I appreciate the people on YouTube that tuned in today with us. My sister was in the chat today, and I appreciate her for supporting me. As always, Queen B, DJ Lethal, the brains of the operation here at Club One Nation Radio. I appreciate you very much. Also, if you want some merch, queenbapparel.com. And stay tuned for 100% Real Talk merch that will be coming up.
I haven't even read our letter for next week.
Oh, okay. I'm already trying to close the show out. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm out of order. Go ahead.
It's okay. It's okay. Okay, so our letter for next week. Dear 100% Real Talk, I am in a very complicated friendship right now. I have been spending time with this guy for several months. We talk every day and hang out every weekend.
Okay.
We both get jealous of each other being with a potential other partner. All our friends say he acts as if we are a couple. However, when people ask who I am, he says he's just a friend. I have fallen in love with him. I don't want to lose the friendship, but I want to be more than friends. What do I do?
Well, I know one song that will be on the show next week.
Right.
Yeah, that song will be in the show next week. But here it goes back to what we just talked about. What is the foundation? What kind of communication have you had? What kind of understanding have you had? Because if you're going off of wishing what I think or assuming that we're in a relationship and you have not communicated to him or her that you're in a relationship, yeah, you're
Right.
just because at the end of the day, with guys, we think like that, but we don't think like that. You have to tell us.
But on the flip side, if she's just a friend, he has no right to be jealous or get upset if there's potentially another guy coming around.
I agree with that.
Just saying.
You got a little hot right there, Amy. You all right? You okay? I mean, I totally get. I understand that, but
Right.
you have to have the conversations, and you have to have that type of conversation to let that person know if we're gonna be, we're gonna be. This is what
Right.
I expect from you. This is what I expect from you, and there should be
Right.
no in between. If you leave somebody with the feeling that they're not wanted or they're not wanting to be in a relationship, then you open the door for this type of letter. So yeah, we'll get into
Right.
this next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another great one for next week. So just keep those suitcases up in the attic because you just like gained more time up there. So
Man, these suitcases getting heavy, but I like it because that means it's content for the show. We have something else to talk about, and I appreciate it. But today was off the charts. I really appreciate it today.
Right. It was awesome. And I really appreciate for everybody, chiming in their perspective. I learned from today.
I did too.
That's awesome. But if anybody has a letter that they want to send to us, you can send it at general@club1nationradio.com. Again, that's general@club1nationradio.com. And we're here every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 Central, 10 Mountain, 9 Pacific. And like Bobby and I say every week, we absolutely love doing this show. And chats like today is what really drives us. And so
absolutely
everybody.
We love everybody. Yeah. And once again, queenbeeapparel.com. If you want Club One Nation gear, DJ Lethal gear, and everything else that you want. There's no limit to what you can get Club One Nation on now. So visit their website, queenbeeapparel.com. Visit their website, get you some merch. We'll have some merch coming out soon. So stay tuned for that. But as always, we appreciate the hard work for everybody that's behind the scenes here at Club One Nation Radio. DJ Beckstar, Queen Diva, Queen B, Jason, his wife Brianna, everybody, Amy, myself.
Brianna.
What Brianna? Oh, I said Brianna, didn't I? I'm sorry. Brianna, Jason, Queen B, and of course DJ Lethal, man. We really appreciate you guys. We love you. And of course the VIP members that came in the chat today here at Club One Nation Radio, Ben's Tech, we appreciate you. And everybody else that was in the chat. So thank you again. We'll see you next week for another exciting edition of 100% Real Talk.
Absolutely. It's going to be a good one again next week. We might have to pick up on this polyamory again at some point because
I agree. And maybe we can invite him on the show and we can let them have on the top.
Yes.
We definitely will.
Right.
So Curly Head guys, hey, look out for that. We're gonna continue this conversation at a later time. And if you find your third party before then, email us and we'll get you set up. We'll send you an invite and we'll give you the platform to speak to let us know more insight about this and how it works for you guys. So we really love to have you on the show.
Right. All right, everybody. Much love.
Have a great day. Have a great rest of the week. Continue to pray for the people in Texas and our world.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And if you're feeling any kind of way, please contact somebody about your mental health because that's first and foremost the most important thing that you need to handle. So
yes.
All right. Much love.
Take care.